But either way, yeah, we hung out with my niece and we went to go watch Barbie.
Yeah, we finally watched it, y'all.
And people have been saying bring back the movie reviews, so now we have a movie to review.
Yeah, what did you think?
Okay, so I have to say that, I forgot what Marvel movie, bro. Like, I watched some old Marvel movie, like, in the beginning of this whole new Marvel stage that we're in. I watched, like, one of the beginning ones, and immediately it was a thing I was noticing that, like, in a lot of movies, like Disney movies, even, like, kids movies, they'll always, like, put some sort of lesson to be learned. You know what I mean? Like, about the world we live in, about global warming, about pollution, about fucking depression. Like, there's always like some hidden like thing that lesson you can get out of it. And I feel like with the Marvel movies, it's just wow, so cool, and then you're out. That's it. It's like that whole thing has completely been lost. Not just Marvel movies, but like a bunch of other stuff. I feel like just they focus more on the CGI and like the cool stuff than they actually do on the lessons. And when I got into Barbie, I was really thinking like, woman saves the day, man is stupid, inclusive, woke, all this shit, and then movie's over. And it did have all those things, but
It did have.
at the end of the movie, I was like, I actually did like, the way they portrayed things. And I also told Riley, like, I feel like after White Lotus, where remember in White Lotus, one of the daughters was like this like
The woke one.
woke daughter who's just like so trying to be a social justice warrior for everyone, and ends up like fucking her over. She ended up doing some stupid shit that got some guy in jail, all this stuff. And then like even in White Lotus, I think other shows and movies, they're trying to like include this thing that's happening nowadays, is like young people becoming ultra. It's always been a thing where young people get into like politics hella young and hella heavy, but like now it's become this like woke phase, right? And they're like including it into the movie, where they're not making it the whole point where they're justifying what she's saying, but they're including into the movie and adding her as a character, because that's what's going on nowadays, and like I thought it was pretty interesting when they first entered her as a character. I was like, oh, here we go. But then like that, it just phased away super quick.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect either.
We should be careful about not spoiling it either, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick also.
Okay.
Let people know what you think. What do you think about the movie? We
Okay.
already talked about it, but
So what I really loved about the movie was definitely the whole aesthetic and set design, the costumes, like that was definitely cool to see on the big screen. Like I remember having like I had a Barbie like bug, a pink Barbie bug car, but she had like the little pink convertible and stuff, but it was just like so cute. I loved the whole look, but I just feel like movies these days aren't hitting the same for some reason. Like I just didn't feel that connected to any of the characters like that, except for Barbie, I guess. But I don't know, it was just like kind of lackluster for me personally. I know a lot of people said they really liked it, and I did think the message in the end was a really cute message to be heard, especially for like the kids who watch it when their moms like bring them to that is like a cute little story to hear. But I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't connected to any of the characters like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like Riley and I watched like a philosophical breakdown of what happened in the movie after. I love watching those where they break down like the comparisons to like older movies, or like the philosophy based behind like some of the scenes and all that shit. But I feel like the lead character, the Barbie, what's her name?
Margot Robbie.
I
love her.
I feel like I was like, not relating with her, but I was like, I like this like, life lesson of hers, where just like she was developed like a lot of character development, what I mean, like from her. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But it was very quick. It went from like, it felt like it was like a couple minutes of just like blank Barbie to immediately like she was like thinking about deep stuff. I don't want to like ruin shit, but like all that stuff. So I basically I don't want to spoil it, but I think it was a good movie. I actually enjoyed it. I expected it to be like a huge just like a child's film. You know what I mean? Like I just watched a YouTube video about how there's like 43 animated Barbie movies. They're all about bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, so I was expecting this to be kind of like that, but it had so much ad campaign behind it, so it couldn't be that bad. But after watching it, I was like, okay, it was a pretty good movie. But I was getting a little bit worried, because Riley and I were talking about this last night as well, where as we were walking to the movie, my niece was like, she's like, I heard this movie is PG-13. And we were just like, and I, at first I wasn't really thinking much about it, but as we're going through the movie, there's like 2 scenes in which I was like, we're sitting there with my niece, and I was like, this is kind of, I don't know, like I felt like it was kind of strange. You know
Oh
what
my
I mean?
god, because she's a baby to you.
Yeah, exactly. But like it was a scene where
It really wasn't bad.
like one of the characters, she basically, I'm not gonna ruin it, but she just says the word penis and vagina,
Yeah.
but not in a sexual manner. She just says, I don't have a penis or vagina or something like that. And I was just like, oh shit. I was kind of weird, you know what I mean? Like I felt like a parent, you know, and like being with their kid. Like I feel like I could not have like the birds and the bees talk with my kid. It's like, it felt like so strange. I was like, oh no, like she's still like a little kid in my eyes, where I'm like, you don't even talk, she doesn't even know about that stuff, you know? And now we're watching a movie and they're saying the words. And
when
I'm
you're
like,
little
bruh.
and you're learning about that shit, you learn from a little age that there's different parts.
But like Riley and I were talking about last night, is like
It wasn't like sexual at all.
She knows, you know, people that like are younger than my niece, and they also, there's so many like probably young girls around that same age that watch that movie, and young people in general. But I really feel like, bro, for there to be a Barbie movie that comes out with all this huge ad campaign, there's no way there's not going to be kids going like, I want to go watch the Barbie movie.
Yeah, everything's pink.
And the parents are going to be like, oh, it's PG-13, I don't know, you know? So it's so funny, because when I was Lena's age, I would be like, you know, I was like watching all types of fucking crazy shit already at that age. You know what I mean? So, well, not at that age, but like, I mean, like I've seen already movies with like innuendos and jokes like that, and I'm like thinking that I know, and my parents don't think I know, but I know it's like that, you know. So, I don't know, bro. It was like basically it was 2 moments where I was just like kind of like, oh, that's kind of weird.
It really wasn't bad.
But at the end of the movie,
it was very innocent.
I thought it was a good life lesson, because, like I said, I feel like the Barbie movie, it's gonna get someone as young as my niece, you know, like to be like, oh, Barbie, I'm interested. But then as you get to the end of the movie, it talks about like, you know, real life things and like, you know, more philosophical ideas, where like you leave the movie like, oh wow, cool pink Barbie, but then you also like have that imprinted in your mind now of like, oh, now you're thinking about these ideas. You're like, oh, it makes you a deeper thinker, or at least makes you question things sometimes, you know?
It was a great movie. But it makes sense because also the director,
Greta.
Yeah, she, like 2 of her previous films were like both like kind of strong female lead type movies, but they were both nominated for Oscars. So it was really good, but like I said, movies just aren't hitting the same.
But you see, like for example,
it was good for like something that's coming out for right now.